Yes, very good evening to all of you. Yes, ma'am. Give me confirmation about audio and video. Yes. Okay. Now we can start our discussion. I think in the previous session we discussed about the Form 3CA, that means audit report. Yes, that is Form 3CA. Yes. Next, 3CB. These two are nothing but what, ma? Audit reports. So, any other law audit is there. Yes, we can issue Form 3CA along with the Form 3CD. There is no other audits, only tax audit. Yes, now we can issue 3CB along with the 3CD. That means if other audit is there, no other audit. Yes, all of you already got an idea about this point. Now we can start the Form 3CD. How many clauses are? 44. 44 clauses. We divided the 44 clauses into two parts, Part A and Part B. Part A, basic details. In Part A, how many clauses we have? 8. So, name, address, PAN, Aadhaar number, indirect tax details, status, previous year, assessment year, whether tax, okay, now tax audit attracted, but under which point also we have to mention. Next, if any SSC opted the new regimes, we have to mention. Part B, this is related to tax compliance, whether you followed that Income Tax Act 1961 provision properly or not. Okay, 9A and 9B. If your status is partnership firm or association of persons, yes, give all the details. If any changes are there, and changes also, even multiple changes also we have to disclose. Nature of business or profession, if you have multiple, please write the multiple businesses related nature. If any changes are there also, yes, you have to mention. Next, 11th is talking about the books of accounts maintained under section 44A. 12th, any one of your business or profession related profits, if declared under presumptive taxation provisions, yes, declare that, provide the details of that also. Next one, method of accounting. If any method of accounting changes, what is the impact on profit and loss account? If any adjustment is required as per ICDS, details about adjustment and ICDS disclosures also. How to value the closing stock and valuation of closing stock as per section 145A. What is it 145A? Inclusive method. That means all the taxes and all the things we have to include. If any deviation is there from this, what is that? Impact on profit and loss. If any capital asset converted into stock in trade. Next, if any amount, that is income, but if that is not credited to P&L account, any taxes related refunds also, capital receipts like revenue receipts, anything also, if not credited to P&L account, please report here. Next, already we know further immovable properties consideration under PCBP we have to follow 43CA, under capital gains we have to follow 50C. If 110% of actual consideration is less than stamp duty value, what is the consideration we have to take? SDV. 17 clauses related discussion already over. Now we'll start the 18th class now. Depreciation. Now in 18th class we need to talk about what? Depreciation. You know already under Income Tax Act 1961, yes, mostly we have to follow WDV. But power sector undertaking company can follow that what? Either SLM or WDV. So that is only here. If they are following WDV, block of asset related depreciation. If they are following SLM, each asset related depreciation. What are the details we have to provide? I think you know what is the format for computing the depreciation under WDV. Yes, just I will write it down here. Okay. So this is only WDV format. This format given under section 43 subsection 6. Yes, nothing but we are following block wise. Suppose this is in block 1 and we have in block 2, like on many blocks also we can get in our books. First we have to start with the what ma? Opening WDV. Yes, sir, if business started newly, opening WDV will be taken as 0. Plus, if any asset purchased during the previous year related to that block, yes, that is we have to add, that is an cost of additions. What is that? Cost of additions. Okay. If any asset we sold, we have to reduce it, that is only money receivable on sale. Yes, sir, money receivable on sale. Finally, you will get in one value. That value is only called as, in our terminology, depreciable value. What is that value? Depreciable value. Which value? Depreciable value. On this depreciable value, please calculate depreciation, and if eligible, please calculate additional depreciation also. Yes, after that, remember whatever the depreciation rates are there, on this depreciable value we can apply that rates, you will get a depreciation. Reduce that. Yes, finally you will get what ma? Closing WDV. These are all the details you have to disclose in form 3CD under class number 18. Yes, now easily you can understood. Depreciation of asset or block, what is the rate of depreciation, what is that actual cost, and what are the additions and deductions. That is, additions means cost of addition, deductions means money receivable on sale, what is the depreciation allowable, what is the written down value at the end of the year. Nothing but WDV format values, all we have to disclose. Clear? Now, next 19th, we are written a summary, so that's why 18th one. Don't worry, I will share at the end of this session this file, you can take Xerox. Okay. Particulars of depreciation. What is that? Particulars of depreciation. This is an 18th class. Sir, at the end of the preparation, if you remember this summary also, remaining you can write it down. Because you know what are the things we have to write in that, yes sir, depreciation related point. Now, 19th one ma. Shall we start 19th one, all of you? Yes. These are the deductions or amounts admissible. Admissible means allowed or disallowed? Allowed. These are the deductions or amounts are allowed as deduction. What are that? I will tell you in a simple way. Okay. Amount of deductions under PCBP. Amount of deductions under PCBP. Okay. But sections now I will simplify. Section number 33AB, 33ABA. 33AB, 33ABA. Sir, this is nothing but tea, coffee, rubber. It is an extraction of an petroleum, oil, natural gas. So, if you deposited some amounts with the NABARD or SBI, you will get deductions. Don't go further sections, what is the section, etc. But remember, deduction. Next, this section already you know, 35. What is it, ma? Scientific research expenditure related. Next, 35 ABA, 35 ABB, deduction with respect to telecommunication network and spectrum. Okay. Next, 35 AD, which is you know very well, specified business. Now, we have many more under 35 CCA. Yes sir, 35 triple C. 35 CCD, Agricultural Extension Project, Notified Skill Development, Rural Development related deductions. 100% deduction you can get whatever the amount you contributed. 35D, you know, Preliminary Expenditures related deduction. 35DD, yeah, deduction of amalgamation and demerger related expenses. 35 DDA, amortization of voluntary retirement scheme related compensation related. 35E, amortization of the expenditure incurred for the petroleum natural gas related business. Sir, no need to by heart this. 35. These are only sections we have in PCBP under section 35. And please add 33AB, 33ABA also. Okay, simple, right? 36 and 37. 37 is general deduction, 36 is an other deductions. Ignore that two, remaining all are deductions. Except depreciation. Depreciation already we given right here. There is no need to remember everything. 36 other deduction, 37. We are not talking about this. And before we have an 32, already covered. The remaining deductions related points. What are the details we have to mention? 35 AD specified business means, you know, if I want to take the deduction, I have to satisfy some conditions. I will say some conditions. So on or after the date you have to start this specified business, and you can't claim the any chapter 6A deductions under the heading C, and you have to file the return of incomes on or before due date. For every deduction you have to satisfy some conditions. That is only, yes, whether SSE is eligible, whether he complies with the conditions or not. Yes, sir. Next, in 35D, amortization of preliminary expenditure. For claiming this deduction, you are required to get a certificate from CA. You are required to get a certificate from CA. That certificate, whether you are required, whether you obtained or not. Okay. Auditor. Now, as an tax auditor, now you have to report. Yes, amounts claimed, yes, and whether these are all are allowable or not allowable, you have to mention. Sir, under these deductions, how much amount of deduction he claimed, SSE claimed. Whether it is allowed or disallowed, you have to give a comment. Are you understood, Ra? Yes, 19 also over. Now we have to start the what, ma? 20th. Sir, anyone can guess the, what is the 20th class, Ra? 36 only. Because, yes sir, already 32 over. The remaining deductions are over. Now we need to talk about 36. What is that, Ra? Other deductions. Now, in other deductions, we have a number of points, Ra, but they are asking only two. 20A, 20B. These two only they are asking. Okay, shall we start? Okay. But generally, any company can give the bonus or commission to their employees. That's okay. But instead of giving the dividend, if you given bonus or commission to your employee come shareholder, that cannot be allowed as deduction under section 36(1). Again I am saying, ma'am, generally, sir, I am an employer, you are an employee, I can give the bonus or commission to you, I can claim that as a deduction under section 36 because I am given some salary to the employee. But what is that point? Right? I am given the dividend, but for name purpose I am showing this as an what, ma? Bonus or commission. That will not be allowed as deduction. That is only. If you given the bonus or commission for the employees for services rendered, this deduction is allowed only. Only if what, ma? If it is paid for services. If it is given in the form of a profit sharing or dividend, whether it is allowed or disallowed, disallowed. If like this, anything is there, you have to report in this class. 20A. So 20A, what is that? Bonus or commission to whom? employees. Bonus or commission paid to employees. Now, next, you know, for a welfare of an employee, we can contribute some amount to provident funds. From employee salary we can deduct, and that amount also can be credited. Along with this interest, finally this amount will be given to whom? Employee only. Nothing but welfare contributions or welfare schemes. Now, as in which contribution we have to report here? Remember, contribution received from employees. That means we are deducting some amount from their salary and we are depositing into provident fund accounts. So that type of things you have to report under this clause. This clause is not about employer contributions. Whose contribution? Employee. Sir, employee contribution, why we need to report, sir? That is only danger. You are deducting from the employee's salary. You have to deposit within the due dates. So that's why this report important. What are the various types of funds? Provident fund, employee state insurance, superannuation, or any other fund for the purpose of welfare of employees. Under this class, what are the things you have to report? What is the nature of fund? What is the amount you are received? And what is the due date? When you paid actual? And when, what is that exact due date where you are making payment? Sir, remember, provident fund. How much you are received? 2 crore. From employees, 2 crore altogether. Due date, some date. What is that amount I paid? 1.5 crore only I paid. Automatically, as a tax auditor, easily he can get about idea about what frauds also. So that's why this clause is very important. What is that 20B? Shortcut, contribution received from. Contribution received from employees. For what purpose? Welfare funds. Done. Now we can start 21. Sir, as of now, I discussed in a deep manner only. But 21, some clauses are very important. We have in questions also. We can check that questions directly. I already told, after completion of these entire discussions, I will tell you important clauses you have to remember. Now only we can discuss that. But 21, how many subclauses we have? Up to I. 21, if you observe, yes, will start with the A, yes sir, B, C, D, E, and F, G, H, I. Sorry, G up to, wait, we have an up to I. Shall we move one by one? No. First one. Please furnish the whatever that amounts are debited to P&L account. Or if any item debited to P&L account means what happened? Net profit decreases. As well as automatically PCBP also will reduce. So that's why what is the nature of expenses are debited? Whether these are allowed or disallowed. If allowed, subject to some conditions. If they form part of profit and loss account, yes sir, now we have to disclose here. Sir, nothing but remember already one point we discussed. Amounts are not credited to P&L. These are incomes but not credited means what? Tax evasion only. Okay, tax evasion only. But if any excess items debited, that is also tax evasion. That's why if not credited, we have to report. If not, if debited, we have to report. Are you understood difference, ma? If not credited, if debited, whether it is allowed or not allowed, we have to check. Yes, what is the 21 year? Amount. Sorry, wait. And we haven't. What is that, ma? Details about details about amounts debited to what ma? Amounts debited to P&L. Sir, whether it is allowed or disallowed. If it is allowed, certain conditions are required to be satisfied. Whether these are satisfied or not, all the things we have to check. Next one. Second, very, 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 very important. We are going to get some things in our next attempt. Sorry, next attempt exam also. Simple, I don't want to give you these are all clauses, subclauses. I want to highlight two sections, these two. What are these two? In our business or profession, we made any payment to the resident without making TDS. What is that amount disallowed? 30%. If any amount we are paid to the non-resident without deducting the TDS, how much amount is allowed? 100%. Resident 30%, non-resident 100%. That only we have to report here. Remember, 21B is very, very, very important. Here, this is only. Under this class, what we are going to give report? Details of the payment. On this, we are not deducted the tax. TDS not deducted. But next case, TDS deducted, but not paid to the government on or before the what return of income due date. Payer always having two responsibilities. What are the two responsibilities? The first one, TDS required to be deducted during the previous year. After deduction, he has to pay that amount to that government within the due date under section 139(1). Otherwise, in case of resident, 30% disallowance. In case of non-resident payee, 100% disallowance. That is only. Here we have to give the report details for that individual payee separately. Okay? Understood all of you? Okay? Now, second. Remember, here, if TDS required to be deducted, we are not deducted. Or deducted but not deposited. In this case, we have to give the details about the payments. Okay. Now, amount disallowed under which section, Sorry, I will write it in same color. Amount disallowed under two sections you have to remember, 40A subsection 40 subsection A class 1 and section 40 subsection A class 1A. This is talking about resident, this is talking about non-resident. Clear? Next one. Third one. C clause. We know 40B, partnership form, while making the payments to the partners, within these section limits only we have to allow. The same section we have for AOP, BOI, 40BA. Sir, this clause is applicable if your status is AOP, BOI or partnership form. While making the payments to the partners, what are the partners or members related payments? Interest, share of profit, remuneration. These things, how much we pay. If any amount debited to the profit and loss account, nature of these expenses, now we have to give the report under this class. Shall we write? What is that? Amount disallowed or amounts debited to which account? P&L with respect to which section? Section 40B and 40BA. Are you understood? Disallowances also, they are going in an order. Okay, first what are the expenses are debited, next 40, 40A, 40B. Next 40A subsection 3A. Sir, I think you know in your business or profession, if you want to make the payment in the form of cash per day, how much amount you can make as a payment to other person? 10,000. That is only more in 10,000 in a day. if you expended other than what ma, these modes, what are that? Account to pay a check, account to pay a demand draft through electronic clearing system, any other electronic mode, okay. But other than these modes, if you pay means in cash, what is that rule? Total amount is disallowed. But in certain exceptions we have, while making the payments to agriculturalists, while making the payment to that what ma, where that bank not serving, in some exceptional cases you can make the payment in a day to a person more than 10,000 also. That payments you have to report here. Already, ma, if any payments are made more than 10,000 in the form of cash in a day to a person, yes, that facts you have to report. Form 3CA. Yes, sir. Form 3CA. Which paragraph, ma? Para 3. The fact you have to report in this para. Ma, form 3CB. If you following the form 3CB, which para we have to follow, ma? Para 5. Already in last class itself we discussed para 3 of this class. Para 5 of this class is very important. Always we have to give the reports in that classes. Next one, ma. 40A subsection 7, nothing but if any provision for gratuity is disallowed, we have to mention. 40A subsection 9, ma. If any employer contributing to that welfare of an employee's any schemes, that contributions also disallowed. Contingent liabilities, if anything is there, that is also what, ma? Disallowed. So remember, these are all points under 21 is related to disallowances. But 21B is very important. What is the 21B, ma? TDS, TCS, if not deducted, we have to write here. Next, ma, you know already, for earning the exempted income, if you incurred any expenses, can you take these expenses as deduction? No, not allowed. That expenses related list you have to provide here. If any expenses incurred for earning which income? Exempted income. That is only section 14A of Income Tax Act 1961. Okay, that expenses is disallowed. Yes, that's why you have to mention here. Next one. Ma'am, if I am taken the any loan for the business or profession, loan related interest is expenditure or not? Yes. This expenditure we can take it as deduction. Because I am taking the loan for what purpose? Business or profession purpose. But remember, I am taking this loan for the purpose of purchase of one asset. That asset is used for business only. I think you know, in your accounting standard also, date of loan to, yes ma, date of loan to first put to use. What is that, ma? First put to use. In between these dates, if any interest is there, that interest should be what, ma? Capitalize. What is that? Capitalize. Yes, after first put to use, whatever that interest is there, what we have to take? Yes, that is nothing but debited to what, ma? P&L. Debited to P&L. So that is only point. Yes, now which interest we have to disallow, ma? Up to put to use. Before asset put to use is allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Capitalized means we have to add it to asset cost. On that we can claim depreciation. That details only. Amount inadmissible under this section. Sir, interest is allowed only, but asset first put to use before we have to disallow. That is an capital expenditure. After that only we can take. These are all the things we have to provide in this clause. Yes, ma, all clauses are done. Then one by one we can write it down. The first one is nothing but what, ma? Amounts are debited to P&L account. Second one, ma? TDS related. Third one, amount debited to the P&L account in respect of section 40B, 40BA. Next one, ma? Amount disallowed under section. Yes, sir. Amount disallowed under section cash payments, ma? Under section 40 capital A 3. Next, provision for gratuity. Yes sir, remember just these provisions are provision for gratuity. Can you tell me what is the section? Provision for gratuity under section 40A subsection 7. Sir, nothing but if any employer is nothing but SSC, he is contributing some amount or he is creating a provision for the purpose of benefit of whom? Employee. Example, in employee quarters I want to install the air conditioning system. So that's why every year or every month I am creating the provision. These provisions, can I take it as deduction ma? No. Actually if you incur, then you can get the deduction. Here the provisions cannot be given as what ma? Deduction. This is in section 40A subsection 9. 7 is gratuity related. 9 is any other benefit of an employee related provisions. Next one ma, contingent liabilities. What is that? Contingent liabilities. Next one ma, yes, now we discussed about contingent liabilities also. Sorry. Next one ma, expenditure. Any expenditure incurred for what purpose ma? Incurred for what purpose? Earning of exempted income. Earning of what ma? Exempt income. What is the section number? Section 14A. Last one ma? Interest on borrowed capital. Interest on borrowed capital. So now here we taken this loan and that means borrowed capital means what ma? Loan. For what purpose ma? For acquisition of asset. Acquisition of what ma? Asset. Now, I want to solve one question based on what ma? 21B. 21B. Okay. So, please open the questions related to this. I think we solved up to question number 5. Now we can solve question number 6. Okay. Some other clauses linkage also definitely they will ask. But at the end of this question I will give you one more clause link also. But based on this we can start. Ma, X Limited having TAN number, that means who are required to deduct the taxes, they will get TAN number, that is also given. Has made following payments during the previous year. They made what ma? Following payments during that what ma? Previous year. Okay. Ma, professional fees is paid. This is covered under 194J. Rent related, yes, it may be 194 related. Yes sir. Yes sir. Now remember, if you don't know also no problem. What is that gross amount paid? Okay. TDS deducted only for first two things. For this TDS not deducted. Under clause 21B, if TDS not deducted, we have to report it. Why ma? Threshold limit for this professional fees related TDS is 30,000. Yes, here exceeded, that's why they deducted at the rate of what ma? 10%. Here also what ma? 10%. But here they not deducted, that's why we have to report. Ma, rent paid to Mr. A, yes, in this case, threshold limit is 2,40,000. But how much my amount? So that's why TDS no need to deduct. That's why they are not deducted. That is not at all problem. But for which payment related we have an issue ma? Professional fees to jet. Okay. Aforesaid transactions are related to March 31st. Maybe you haven't doubt, sir. Why they are given? Last quarter related. Yes. Company deducted also and paid on this date. Yes, sir. Company has paid the TDSs being deducted by it on what, ma? So that means happy, ma. They paid in the next months only. That's okay. Remember, TDS return, that means TDS statement are written, submitted in the which month, ma? 10th May often 2025. Now, my TDS statements also we have to file. That is related to other clause in this form 3CD. I will connect it, no problem. Now, this type of information they will give you in exam, and they will ask how you can deal this thing in a form 3CD. Like this they will ask. Now you have to write the point related to 40 subsection A. Ma, here the payments are made to the residents. If TDS not deducted or deducted not deposited, how much amount we have to disallow, ma? 30%. Now in this case, the professional fees to Mr. Jed paid more than 30,000, but they are not deducted TDS. Now how much amount of disallowance will attract, ma? 30% of the 40,000. How much? 12,000. Yearly rent related threshold limit, you can write it down how much, ma? 2,40,000. Yes, that's why that is not at all cross. That's why in this case TDS is not applicable. Now this is only important. Reporting requirement under which clause? 21B. Why we are giving 21B? If TDS not deducted, we have to give the report under 21B. Ma, sir, in our book we don't have this, but if you open the form 3CD in practical way, I will try to open if, okay. In our academic purpose, they are not given these columns, right? Are in academic purpose, they are given in our normal format. But if you observe that form 21B, I will open. Same things you will get here also. Yes, sir, 91. These are all sections. Sorry, 19. We discussed all these sections. 20. Now, 21B. Yes, please check. These are all our columns only. Here they are given like this. Yes, sir. Nature of payment. What is that amount paid? What is the due date? These are all the details under one table we have to disclose. That is only this table. No problem. I will explain. Ma, under this class, disallowance related, I want to highlight. Yes, under class 21B. Now, date of payment. Can you tell me for Mr. Jet when we made payment? They are given any date? Nothing but what, ma? 31st March given. Yes, that's why I taken the 31st March. How much payment? 40,000. What nature of payment? How much, ma? What is the name of the payee? Why? So that is Jedra. Printing mistake, Jedra. Yes, sir, Jet. Next, ma. Permanent account number if available, right? Always I told her, whenever they are given the column relating to permanent account number, you have to add what, ma? Aadhaar column also. The remaining all are address of the payee. Normal columns only, address line 1, line 2, city, pin code, country, state. Maybe you can ask, sir, how we written all the things. Normally they are written in this question. They are not provided, but they are written these on the own way, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, like etc. But what are the columns you have to remember, ma? Payment date, nature of payment, the amount of payment, who isn't paid. Now, sir, can you tell me how much amount disallowed here? Entire 40,000 disallowed or 12,000? 12,000 only we have to disallow. Now, remember, what is that 21B we disclosed? Only whatever that disallowances are there with TDS not deducted. That over. But some more we have to do, but after remaining clauses I will tell you. Are easy if you know about the linkage. So 21B is talking about what ma? Please remember, disallowances relating to TDS, TCS related. Okay. Now, come back to the next remaining clauses over, then we can back to the discussion. What is that? We are going to discuss the next one, 22. What is that, ma? 22, we have to start. How many clauses are there, ma? A, B, C. Very easy, right? A, B, C. Ma, generally, if you are purchasing anything from the MSME related, that means micro, medium, small. But here we have to consider micro and small only. Yes, sir. How to make the payment, ma? If there is no agreement, within 15 days you have to make a payment. Sir, nothing but Mr. A is there, and one micro as well as small enterprises is there. You are required to make payment, because you purchased some goods from them or assets from them. Anna, you have to write all the things, Anna. Means nothing but the table you have to present. Disallowed, allowed, if you write in like this, yes, they will give you 1 hour off marker. You have to write the table. That's why I told. Otherwise, how can I say the first 4 columns? I told date, nature of payment, amount, pay. The remaining address columns. You have to write total. In suggested answers in our workbook only they given like that. That's why you have to write fully. Disallowed, allowed, if you written, that is not at all correct. Now, if there is no agreement, within how many days we have to pay, ma? 15 days. If there is agreement between these two fellows, within how many days we have to make payment, ma? As agreed, but maximum how many days? 45. Now, first clause I want to tell you. C is nothing but given the time limits. Clause C is given the time limits. Now, if you are not paid to the, that means SSC means Mr. A. Mr. A, if not paying that amount as per that section 15 of MSME Act, then he has to pay interest. Yes, sir. Now, in addition to this, you have to pay what, ma? Interest. This interest is allowed or disallowed? Disallowed. Array, for you, these are expenditure only interest, but the interest is what, ma? Not at all allowed. Now, next one, ma. If this amount, whatever that amount you are required to pay, you have to pay within this time. But one more thing, they are given the 43B. That means, from your side, if you paid that amount within the time limit on actual payment basis, we can give it as what, ma? Deduction. Sir, 43B means, I think some of you know, what is that? Deduction is allowed only on what basis? Actual payment basis. So, remember all the details we have to write. That means class 22 exclusively talking about the payments made to MSME Act. So, interest allowed or disallowed? Disallowed. Interest disallowed under which section? Sorry, under which act? MSME 2006. So now, total amount how we are required to pay, ma? Total amount required to pay, as per which section, ma? Section 15 of MSME 2006. Now, section 15 of MSME time limits given in which class? C. Ma, these amounts you have to pay within this time. If you not paid, interest you have to pay. That interest is allowed or disallowed? Allowed. This interest if paid, or if you are not paid within the time, these are all the things we have to report under 22 class. Shall we discuss 23? Now, this is very important. If any excessive payments you made to your relatives, you have to report in this class. What is that, ma? 23. 23 is talking about if any excessive amounts paid to the relatives, nothing but specified persons. That is only 40A subsection 2. Array, example, my wife working in this college, so normal salary fair market value 50,000, but I am giving the 90,000. How much excess I am paying? 40,000. That amount required to be disallowed. The type of payments, if anything done by the SSA, now we have to report under which class, ma? 23. 23. Shortcut, can you tell me, ra? Payments made to whose, ra? Payments made to specified person. Yes, ra? Specified persons. Under 40A subsection 2. 24. Now we have to start the clause number 24. 33 ABA. This is nothing but tea, coffee, rubber development. 33 ABA, site restoration fund. Example, ma, if you deposited some amounts with the NABARD or SBI, you can get deduction. That amount of deposits you have to utilize properly. If you misutilized, yes sir, in 21-22, I got deduction under these sections. What? Based on what, ma? Deposit. Because you deposited some amount in the NABARD as well as site restoration fund, you will get deduction. Later year, that means nothing but 24-25, you violated some conditions. Now because of this deduction, PGBP reduced. Now we have to increase by using that which provision, ma? We have to create which profit, ra? Deemed profit. What is that, ma? Deemed profit. Special deductions for the deposits made under, yes, ma? There is a special deduction under this section if they are following the site restoration fund or what, ma? Tea, coffee, rubber. If any conditions are violated, earlier year's deduction now reverse. Now we have to create it as an what, ma? Deemed income. Sir, I am doing educational business now. This class NA means what, ra? Not applicable. For whom this will be applicable? If any person doing the what, ma? Tea, coffee, rubber, or nothing but extraction of natural gas, petroleum as well as what, ma? Oil. For them it is applicable. If any deduction they taken, okay. Amma, if they are taken deduction, we have to report under which class, ra? This class. 19th class. If deduction reversed, 19 clause we have to take if deduction is allowed. If deduction reversed, what, ma? 24th class. Array, linkage, are you understood, ra? Nowadays maybe on this spot you may not be remembered that every clause, ra? But you can create a link now. Okay, if deduction allowed, yes sir, nothing but if deduction allowed, clause number what, ma? 19. If deduction reversed, deemed profit, clause number 24. What is the 24, ma? Deemed profits under section 33AB or 33ABA. Next, ma, 25th. Ma, we haven't two charging sections for PCBP. One is section 28. If any person earning that income from the business or profession, 28 will attract. Yes, if any last year's deduction now I want to reverse, means what profit, ma? Deemed profit. Ma, last year I claimed deduction. Conditions are not satisfied. Now how I want to reverse the deduction, ma? I can create a deemed income in this year. The deemed income related S41. These incomes also chargeable to tax, but not directly enter by way of reversing that earlier year deductions. Now you end. That is only 41. These two. But 28 already we discussed, where the amounts are not credited to P&L account. Amounts are what ma? Not credited to P&L account, 28 only. This required to be taxed but not credited to P&L account. Now 41, deemed profits related information, we have to disclose under which class ma? 25. Yes, class number 25 is talking about the what ma? Deemed profits under which section? 41. Next ma. 43B, you know very well. Certain deductions are allowed only on what basis ma? Payment basis. Yes sir. Remember, irrespective of the accrual or cash method, whatever you follow. But certain expenses, yes sir, bonus, commission, employer contribution, leave salary, payment made to MSME deal, these are all are allowed on what basis ma? Actual payment. So can you tell me what is the due date for actual payment ma? Before due date. So now what are the relevant clause? What is the liability? When we made payment, how much amount we made payment, all the things we have to disclose in the class 26. What is that ma? Certain expenses. So now first I will give heading of the section, then you will easily write. 43B, what is that ma? Certain expenses. Certain expenses. Yes ma? Certain expenses allowed as deduction on what basis ma? Actual payment basis. What basis? Actual payment basis. 27th class. Ma 27th we have in what ma? 2. 27th we have in how many ma? 2 clauses. Yes, clause A, clause B. Shall we start ma? Simple. Array, now we are using ITC under GST. Previously we have an SENVAT credit. What is that opening balance of that? How much we utilized? Yes sir, how much utilized? What is that closing balance? Sir, how we can utilize the ITC in our books of accounts? Nothing but input tax credit related details we have to disclose under class 27A. So remember two things, that is and what ma? SENVAT credit, yes, or what ma? ITC related details we have to provide here. Next one ma? If any prior period incomes and the prior period expenditure, remember very important. This is applicable only for who are following what ma? Mercantile. Mercantile means accrual. Present year due or receipt we can record. But remember, prior period means nothing but what ma? Earlier years incomes, earlier years expenditures. Now present year, if anything is recorded, we have to report here. Yes, if any income of expenditure that is in prior period, if that is debited or credited to P&L account, we have to report. But this point I want to talk about it. Bonus we are paid for the last year. Bonus amount we confirmed in this year. Now that is not a prior period. Why? Bonus percentage is materialized in which year? Current year. But we paid bonus for last year. Yes sir, it is not an what ma? Prior period item. Why? Last year bonus only, now I am paying. But bonus confirmed in which year? This year. So that's why it cannot be called as what ma? Prior period. Don't think about all the points. Okay, SENVAT credit as well as what ma? Prior period. Incomes or expenses ma? Expenses as well as incomes, if anything is there in our P&L account, we have to report. Next, you know section 56 subsection 2 clause 9 ma? Forfeiture of advance money received. You know one treatment is there. Yes sir, if any forfeiture of advance money is done. If any forfeiture of advance money is done. Mr. X is there. He wants to sold one capital assets to the Mr. Y. He is a seller and he is a buyer. Sir, I am taking this some advance money of 10 lakh, but these negotiations are doesn't resulting into transfer. So now this advance money, can I give it to the Mr. Y? No. I am forfeiting, means cancellation of advance money. This is an income for him? Yes. This income is required to be taxed under two heads. If forfeiture of advance money done before 1/4/2014, it is taxed under capital gain. If that is received on or after, what did 1/4/2014, it is taxed under what ma? IFOS. Ma, present, now we are in this only, so that's why it is taxed under what ma? In IFOS. That is only taxed under which section ma? 56 subsection 2 class 9. Sir, if any forfeiture done by the SSA, if it is taxed under IFOS, please report the transactions in the class 29A. Ma, 29A and B, capital letters. 29A is income from other sources related taxability of what ma? Forfeiture of advance money. Now, I think you know very well this section number gift 56 subsection 2 class 10. If any gifts are received, I think you know gift means without consideration, inadequate consideration. We can receive the money or property also. Whatever that amounts are taxable under this income from other sources. Suppose I am an SSE. I am receiving some gifts. That gifts are taxed under this section. So what are the gifts you received from which person? These are all the details we have to mention under 29B. Ma, there is no 28th class, that you have to remember. Yes, sir. After 27, directly what ma? 29. There is no 28. Okay, practicality also, there is no 28. Directly, yes, 29 capital A, 29 capital B. What is a 29 capital A ma? Forfeiture of advance money forfeited. What is that ma? Advance money forfeited. What is the section? With respect to what? Capital asset. Section 56 subsection 2 clause 9. Any gifts received. Yes, sir. If any gifts received, if that gifts related information, yes, we have to provide in 29B. What is the section taxability for gifts ma? 56 subsection 2 clause 10. Madana 30 we have to start. Okay. 69D. Generally in regular class I explained this 69D. Remember ma, Hundi means it is a traditional negotiable instrument, not at all recognized now. If any borrowing or repayment made on this traditional, Mr. A and Mr. B, yes, Mr. A is in books of account credited some amount. Simply, this fellow saying, I am taking the loan from this fellow, sir. There is an undisclosed income, but for namesake he is saying the loan. Okay, if that is loan, please show me account to pay check or account to pay demand draft, how you accepted the loan. Simply he is saying, I am taking that based on Hundi. Means nothing but what it is an undisclosed income. Now, if you are making repayment, that means you are claiming expenditures also. That is a fake loan, but you are making repayment. At the time of borrowing or at the time of repayment, if you done based on Hundi, yes, can you tell me, now we can treat this income as an what ma? Undisclosed income. We can treat that income as an what ma? Undisclosed income. That undisclosed income required to be taxed under section 115B BE 60% tax plus 25% health and surcharge plus health and education says totally 78. Now that is only here we are writing down. Any amount borrowed or repaid. Otherwise, then what basis ma? Account to pay check. Amma, if I am receiving account to pay check, that means he clearly given the account pay check. So that's why this is a transparent only. Otherwise, then the account to pay check. Now that is called as deemed income, undisclosed income. Can you tell me? Both the cases, loan time, repayment, both the times, can I call it as an undisclosed? No, anyone. If borrowing time, if you consider, then on the repayment, you can't consider. Anything, that is nothing but whichever is applies. Sir, from whom you are receiving these loans and borrowings from the other person, that other person related details we have to provide. What is that ma? 30th clause. What is that clause ra? 30th. Ma, 30A, I don't want to explain ra. Just I will give you. If any primary adjustment you done in the transfer pricing chapter. Can you tell me what do you mean by the primary adjustment ma? Based on arm's length price, if you increase the total income of the SSE, that is only primary adjustment. The details you have to mention. For whom this clause will be applicable? If you have an international transaction or specified domestic transaction, then only this clause will be applicable for you. Next ma, 94B, thin capitalization or interest on borrowed capital. 30% of what ma? EBI TDI is disallowed. In excess of that, nothing but what ma? Disallowed. Remember, these two things you have to give in detailed manner. Next, in GAR chapter we discussed in revision sessions. If any transaction is treated as impermissible avoidance arrangement, IAA, the details also you have to provide. What are the things under clause 30 ma? Clause 30 is 69D Hundi, 30A primary adjustment, 30B interest on borrowed capital, interest on what ma? Interest on loans related deduction limitation. Next, impermissible avoidance arrangement. Shall we write 30? Yes, 30 we have. Next one ma? 30A, 30B, 30C. Can you tell me? 30, amount borrowed. Next, or repaid on what basis ma? Hundi. What is the section ra? Section 69D. Next one ma? Section 92CE. What is the 92CE? Primary adjustment if anything is done. That all the details we have to disclose. Next one ma? Section 94B. Interest deduction limitation. Interest deduction what ma? Limitation, or we can call it as what ma? Thin capitalization. What is that? Thin capitalization. Sira, impermissible avoidance agreement, IAA under section what ma? 96. IAA under section 96. Next, 31, important. We have any questions we can discuss. 31. Yes, sir. Under 31, we have in 3 clauses. Sir. Very important. Listen carefully. Section 269 SS saying that, ma'am, if you are receiving any loan, that means example, Mr. X taken the loan from the one bank or any, okay, we can take any other party, Mr. A, and nothing but from one person. If we are mortgaging one immobile property, land, building or both, we are given as a mortgage. Now we are accepting the loan or advance. We are accepting the what ma? Loan or advance. If that loan or advance amount is more than 20,000, loan or advance amount is how much ma? More than 20,000. You have to receive in that account to pay a check, account to pay a demand draft, electronic clearing system, any other electronic mode. But if you received in cash, other than account to pay check, account to pay demand draft or electronic clearing system. That means you violated which provision ma? 269 SS. 269 SS saying that if the loan or advance amount is more than or equal to what ma? 20,000, you should receive in an electronic modes only. Other than that, if you received, then we have to disclose here. Remember, ma, this is a very important point. While checking the 20,000, loan taken or deposited during the year, that means fresh loan. Ma, last year loan outstanding, if anything is there. Ma, last year 5,000 outstanding is there. Now you taken 18,000. Now totally how much it exceeded? 20,000. That is only point. Not only current year loan or advance, ma, while you are checking this 20,000 limit, we have to include the earlier year advance, earlier year outstanding. So that means 1 and 2 combinedly on the date of acceptance, if exceeds the more than 20,000, 269 SS is applied. Ma, this 20,000 limit, whatever is there, yes, this 20,000 limit can be increased to 2 lakh in this situation. What is this situation, sir? If any loan or advance accepted by the primary agriculture credit society or primary cooperative agriculture rural development bank from their members, on that occasion, this 20,000 limit, we can check it as on what ma? 2 lakh. Understood? Whatever these details are there. Remember ma, 269 SS is nothing but loan accepted or taken. If you are confirming about this, then I will start the next one, sir. If any loan or advance taken, yes sir, from one person by way of mortgaging immovable properties, if that amount is more than 20,000, we have to receive that amount in our bank accounts in an electronic mode. Other than that, if you receive 269 SS violated. Next, 269 ST. Ma, first I will talk about the clause C, 269T. Previously we taken loan, now we are repaying loan. Mr. A to what ma? Other person. Now we are repaying the loan. If the repayment amount is more than or equal to 20,000, they are saying this amount required to be cleared in an electronic ways only. Nowadays the banks are collecting the EMIs in the bank auto debit way. They are not collecting cash because of these restrictions are there. Ma, remember one additional point. If repayment to a person exceeds, ma, we have to check principal plus interest together whether it is exceeded the, yes sir, 20,000. Sir, I am paying principal separately, interest separately. No. We have to check combinedly how much you repay. Even if held jointly, singly. Includes repayment by way of transfer of what ma? Journal entries or book entries. So nothing but I required to pay some amount, you required to pay some amount, we can adjust these things. All that amounts includes, we have to check whether it is exceeded 20,000. Ma, while you are accepting the loan or advance, 216 and SS 20,000 limits we have to check. While you are repaying also, 269 T limits we have to check. Done? Now, what is that? 269 ST. Any idea? Simple, right? You can't receive the cash more than how much ma? 2 lakh. From a person in a day, with respect to single transaction, with respect to one event, that means from one person in one day, in related to one transaction, how much cash I can receive? 2 lakh. More than 2 lakh if you receive, yes, you can receive in these ways only. If you are received other than in these ways, means cash, we have to report that in this clause number 31, clause BA. Sir, this reporting is enough? No. 100% of that amount required to pay as a penalty under these three sections. So here, suppose 50,000 we received in the form of cash, 50,000 penalty. Here we paid the, we received the, here we repaid the 11,000, 31,000. How much ma? More than 20,000 penalty. Here we received 5 lakh, that is more than 2 lakh penalty. Understood? Next. 100%. That's why they are given that importance to the digitalization. They want to do this or all the transactions in a transparent way. Department view or income tax view is nothing but you need to do the transactions in a transparent way. That's why they want to encourage the digitalization. That's why they are given 100% disallowance. Are you clear? No. So shall we write? What is it? 31. We are at the end. Don't think about it. We can complete within half an hour. We are at the end. Remaining all are easy only. I can easily skip this, but in other materials, if you are observing that, yes, they will include these points only. What is the 216 and ST? What is the 216 and SS? And what is the 216 and T? These are all the things we have to check. Yes, can you tell me what is that clause numbers, 31. What is that clause number? 31. A, B, A, C. Can you tell me? Loans or advances. Loans or advances. Accepted. If anything is accepted, okay. But in violation of, which section? 269 what Yes, yes. Second one third one first I will write. What is that Loan or advances related repayment. Repayment of, what loan or advance. If you repaid, okay. But in violation of which section section 269T. More than 20,000. Now, cash receipts more than, that is 2 lakh in a day from a person regarding one event, if it is exceeded or in violation of what Dana section 269T. Okay. Now 31 classes are over. Remaining how many are there? 13. 44 totally. Okay. So 32 class we have an E point up to E. 31. Very easy. If you have any 32A, if you have any brought forward losses of earlier years or depreciation, then head-wise details, year-wise details you have to provide. Under PCBB, I have this much of brought forward loss. Under capital gain, you have this much of brought forward loss. All the things we have to disclose. Brought forward losses, unabsorbed depreciation, we have to provide under which class? 32A. Next. I don't know how many of you remember this 79. Right? Do you know? Okay. I will tell you. Previous year, 21-22, we have a loss. Okay, loss. This provision is applicable to the private company only. Okay. On that occasion, A, B, C, D are there. They are holding the each and every person having the 25% of voting share. What is the last day of the loss incurred year? 31st March 2022. I verified the shareholding pattern. But during the current previous year, what is the current previous year? 24-25. What is it? 24-25. This clause or 79 is applicable for the which companies? Private companies only. Now, this year shareholding pattern changed. Previously pattern is 1:1:1, like 4 are there. Now, on this date, can you tell me what happened? Shareholding pattern changed. On this year, last day of the previous year, what is that? 25. A are there, B are there, C are there. In place of D, E came. But can you tell me 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%? Array, loss incurred year last day, shareholding pattern changed year last day. If you verified, can you tell me how many shareholders are same? More than 51% is same. Then you can carry forward this loss of the last years to the present year. This clause is applicable for which companies? Private companies. Yes, closely held companies. What is that shareholding required to be same? In the loss incurred year, shareholding pattern changed year. In which day we have to check? Last day of the year we have to check. If anything is there like this, we have to disclose under 32 class B. But, okay, right? Below 51 is there, but nothing but what ma? In the places of many, that means changes happen, but while calculating that 51%, following things shall not be considered. Because of death, that is nothing but, yes sir, one of my family member expired, so that's why legal hair taken that shares. That cannot be treated as change in shareholding. Still we can count it as the same person holding the shares. Because of what ma? Death. Next one, if any shares I am given as a gift to my relative, that cannot be considered as a change. Because here love and affection will be there, decisions will be same. Next, this is an important. Holding company is a foreign company and change due to what are amalgamation or demerger of what ma? Foreign company. In these cases, that cannot be considered as a change in shareholding. Dana? Yes, sir. 70. Now, speculation loss, if anything is there, we have to disclose under class 32C. My normal brought forward losses, these are, but speculation loss separately, right? Specified business loss separately you have to write. Ma, can you tell me? Speculative loss can be set up only against what ma? Speculative income. How many years? 4 years. Next, specified business loss can be set up against only specified business. How many years we can carry forward ma? Indefinitely. Unlimited number of years. Last one. If any company, this is for company, they are doing the share trading business. So that is deemed to be treated as what ma? Speculative business. Not in speculative, but we can deem it to be treated as what ma? Speculative. But if any companies are engaged in these, but we can't say it as a deemed speculative business. What ma? Banking, granting loans and advances, trading in the shares as a principal business. That cannot be treated as what ma? Deemed speculative business. In all other cases, that will be treated as what ma? Deemed to be treated as speculative business. So nothing but if any loss is there, yes, we have to give the same treatment like in what ma? Speculative business. This clause is not applicable for that other than company. For companies only it will be applicable. Remember, if they are doing share trading business, that deemed to be treated as speculative only. But if the company is doing the banking, loans and advances granting, and if they are doing the trading business only as a principal business, that's okay. On that occasions, we can treat as a normal business only. That cannot be treated as what not deemed speculative business. Clear up to know? Now, can you tell me under 32, what are the points we have to write? 32, yes, A, B, C, D, E are there. A is nothing but what ma? Details about. Details about what? Details about brought forward losses. Brought forward losses. Next one. Details about brought forward losses and depreciation. Second one ma? Section 79. What is that 79? Change in shareholding. Change in shareholding. Next one ma? 79 is done. Speculative loss. Next one ma? Speculative loss related details. Specified business loss. Specified business loss. Next one ma? Deemed speculative business loss. What is that? Deemed speculative business. Dana? Deemed speculative business. So 32 clauses are done, ma. Now 33 we can discuss. Reporting of deductions under chapter 6A and chapter 3. Sir, now we are talking about deductions. If any chapter 6A deductions you claim, that is chapter 6A, and chapter 3 means 10 AA, say special economic zone. Remember, while if SSE following the new regimes, these deductions will not be available. If any deductions claim, what are the section wise deductions SSE claimed? All the things we have to report under this class. Clear? Yes. What is it, ma? 33. What is the 33? Ra? Reporting of deductions. Reporting of deductions. Yes, what are the deductions, ma? Chapter 6A or chapter 3. There is no marathon for this attempt. Whatever the revision series are there, that is applicable for this attempt. Okay. Next. I am in class, but how you can expect instant reply? That means I need to stop overall discussion and I need to stop that entire class and I need to give reply. Okay. There is no marathon for this attempt. I don't want to do also because more than marathon, I already uploaded the revision series. Okay. For next attempt, I will try to upload for June. Next, 33 done. 34, it is a time to do problems also. Yes, sir. Now, 34. How many clauses are there, ma? 3. Important. After this, we can discuss the last pending problem and we can take 5 to 10 minutes break. Okay. I need. Sir, if because of TDS not deducted, if any disallowance is there, under which class we have to report? 21B. If TDS not deducted or deducted not deposited, disallowances we have to report under which class? 21B. Now 21B linking with always this. TDS, TCS deducted. Yes, you are required to deduct TDS or TCS, and if deducted, you have to what, ma? Deposit. Verify the compliance of TDS or TCS provisions. For you, TDS, TCS provisions are applicable. You have to follow. Amma, in this matter, I given the cross reference. Can you read? Auditor should ensure consistency with the what? Which class? 21B. He has to check simultaneously one more class, because if TDS, TCS, you have to deduct. If deducted, okay. If not deducted, under which class you have to disallow? 21B. Ma, if there is any difference, what are the paras? 3CA, para 3, 3CB, para 5. Are you understood? They will give you MCQ also. In which paragraph we have to report all the facts in form 3CA, 3CB. Para 3, para 5. Done. Ma, you have to file the TDS, TCS returns. You have to file the what, ma? TDS, TCS returns. Ma, remember, TDS, TCS returns we have to file quarterly. Okay? We have to file what, ma? Quarterly. Check whether we filed or not. If not filed, what is the class? 34B. Next, if TDS deducted, not deposited properly, not deducted, then we have to pay interest for TDS under 201A. Yes, TCS related 206C7. In our regular batch, these interest provisions are already covered in Advanced Tax and Interest chapter. Yes, this is in TDS and this is in TCS. If TDS not deducted or not deposited, TCS not collected or not deposited, we have to calculate interest under these sections. That interest, if anything paid by the SSC, we have to report under this class. Class 34 ABC is talking about what TDS. Yes, sir. I will create a link, yes, sir. Now, what is that class 34 ABC. What is that first one? Whether you are required to deduct the TDS or TCS, and if deducted, or you have to what deposit. In the same point, you have to check if you are required to deduct but not deducted, and we have to refer which class 21B class. Next TDS or TCS returns. This is only we can call it as what statements. How we are required to file quarterly. Last one, interest under section 201(1)A and 201(1)B. Sorry. 206(C)(7). This is an TDS related delay and the TCS related things. We have to pay interest. Now, shall we go for the remaining question? Okay. Now, remember which clauses we have to correlate. 34 and 21 always having link. Why? Here you have to deduct. If not deducted, that is only disallow. That's why we have to check these two. Now, what is that question number, I think? Now, in this we are discussed TDS required to deduct in this point, but deducted or not deducted? Not deducted. Disallowed how much amount 30% of that. That's why we reported under which class 21B. 21B. Yes, sir. Now, immediately we return the reporting requirement under what 34A. What is the 34A? Whether SSC is required to deduct the TDS or required to collect the TCS. Answer, yes. Okay, now, what are the points, sir? With respect to how many payments is required to deduct or not required to deduct? 2. One is what? Now these columns also you have to remember. No need to pressure anything. Disallowance related, these are all our address. Here, day to payment to payee details. Now, 34. Now, you have to deduct. Now, please furnish the details. First serial number, 2 payments are there. One is an fees for what services? Professional service, another one rent. But rent related TDS is not required. Why? Threshold limit not exceeded. Now, sir, here tax deduction and the collection number. Already in question they provided the TAN number. Okay, no. Very easy. They are maintaining the columns in the same way. What is a section of TDS? 194J, 194 what I. Remember, these are all the remaining columns. I will explain in an easy way. First one, what is that amount of payment? On which amount we are required to deduct the what? Sir, this is nothing but payment how much you made. Please do total of these. Definitely it is 2,90,000. How much you paid? 2,90,000. So, it is more than 30,000 or not? Yes. Professional fees threshold limit 30,000. More than 30,000. That's why an entire amount what we are required to deduct the what TDS. On which amount we are required to deduct the what TDS. TDS on which amount? How much 2,90,000. Why we made it as 0? Because it is below the threshold limit. Yes, on which amount we are applying the rate and we can collect the tax. Sir, you have to deduct from this amount, but you deducted from how much 2,50,000 only. How much amount you deducted? 25,000. Are you understood? Ra? How much we deducted as of now? 25,000. Simple. Ra. They are given the details. On which amount what is that amount you paid? On which amount we are required to deduct tax? But actually we deducted the tax on which amount? How much? They remember zeros. Understood? It is very easy. Next month, sir, over? No. Why? They are asking about the TDS returns. Which clause? 34B is talking about what ma? TDS returns or statements. No, that is only we have to write. Whether SSE is required to furnish the TDS or TCS related statements or returns. Answer yes or no ma? Yes. Details. What is that form number 26Q? They given TDS returns form number 26Q, TAN number. Due date is 31st May. Ma. Sir, how I know? How I know? Last quarter related. Quarter ending with the what ma? 31st March. Yes, that required to be filed. April next month we don't want to file. Ra? Yes, sir. Every quarter next month ending we have to file. But last quarter they given the what ma? If quarter 4 is ending with the March, they are asking to file the return on 31st May on or before. If quarter ending with the March, we haven't busy with the what ma? Accounts closure, etc. Generally, every quarter ending next month ending. Next month ending means nothing but what ma? Here also trend if you calculated April. But not in April, ma. For last quarter, they're given the how many months time? 2 months. So that's why this is an due date. But on which date we filed? Ra? On which date we filed? Ra? 10th only. They given in the question. Yes, sir. That is only the point. But what is the remark? Ra? Professional fees related TDS is not deducted. Professional fees related, how much amount related TDS not deducted? Ma? 40,000. That means in exam highly we can expect this question. Reason, if they are given the same question, TDS related disallowance, which form number ma? 21B. TDS related disallowance, which form number ma? 21B. Next, TDS required to be deducted for which payments? That is 34A. Next, returns related 34B. Are you understood? Before exam, you must know about these columns also. There is no alternative. If they are given 7 mark, you have to write it down in the same way. But no need to write entire amounts. So what is that amount of payment? On which amount we have to deduct TDS? Actually, we deducted on which amount? How much amount of TDS? Clear? Now. Take just a 10 minutes break, then we can discuss remaining classes and problems. Within hardly 30 minutes, we can close the entire session. Okay. Yes, sir. Shall we discuss next question? Question number 7. It is also important. Okay. Shall we start question number 7? Yeah. Following transactions are recorded in whose books? MSPL company books. That means our SSE is nothing but MSPL. Now, on first day of the previous year, that MSPL taken loan from whom? ABCL, Maharashtra, and that PAN number via RTGS. That means online or offline, I mean cash online. How much ma? 50 lakh. Ma, regarding this loan, we paid interest also. That interest, that means repayment. We are repayment done also through that what ma? RTGS. Now, net of TDS amount they are given. Gross amount, please let me know. Ma, please calculate they given the net amount. So, plus TDS amount 25,000. Yes, sir. TDS amount is how much, ma? 25,000. Now, gross amount how much, ma? Gross amount 2,50,000. Ultimately, we repaid 2,50,000. But out of that, how much tax we deducted? 25,000. Now, ma, some amount of loan we repaid. That is also through RTGS. How much amount? 25 lakh. Are we taken loan and we repaid this amount. Some loan amount repaid, some interest amount we repaid. Again we taken loan, that is only twist. Again we taken loan, how much? 35 lakh. Now, interest paid or credited, ma? Credited. In our books, we credited that account only, we are not paid. On that credit, I think you know, TDS required to be deducted, payment or credit, whichever is earlier. Now, credit is earlier, deduction of TDS done, and some amount of TDS accounting for what, ma? Taxes account. Now, what is the TDS here? Yes, sir. Ma, while crediting also, TDS amount separate account, how much amount we are required to give, that amount only we are credited, how much? 2,70,000. But TDS amount, ma? 30,000. Gross amount? How much gross amount? 3 lakh. Are you understood this? Now, by way of reading itself, I can say clause numbers. Yes, here 269, yes, 269T. Why? Loans are repaid. Loans taken and loans are repaid. Next, ma, our company furnished TDS return. Return furnished means which form number, ma? Yes, just now we discussed. Return furnished means what, ma? Form number 36B. TDS deducted. Sorry, form number 34B. Next one, ma, TDS deducted and deposited related 34A. Sir, by way of reading itself, you have to understood. Here, how many quarters related returns filed, ma? 2 quarters. How you could give this information in form number 3CD? Ma, what are the clauses we have to write? Remember, first, TDS deducted, that is 34A, return related 34B. And now, cash loans and nothing but what, ma? Repayments related what, ma? Clause 31. These are all the clauses we have to report. Shall we discuss question first? Okay, answer. Okay. What are the applicable clauses, ma? Loan taken, loan repaid. That is nothing but what, ma? 31A loan taken, 31C loan repaid. First they prepared a chart. Next, TDS deducted and TDS returns 34A, 34B. Now, further remember, in all cases TDS properly deducted. If not deducted, We have to mention disallowance under what ma? Clause 21B. Under which clause we have to mention 21B. Now, the first I am writing about the 31A. What is the 31A? Loan taken. Remember, ma serial number, who given the loan, and their address. How much loan we accepted? 85. How 85? During the previous year we have to check. First we taken what ma? 50 lakh plus next we taken what ma? 35 lakh. Are you understood? First we taken 50. Next 25. During the previous year, 35. Total how much ma? 85. Ma, next question. Whether this loan is squared off means what ma? Paid totally? No. Some amount we paid. At any time during the previous year, yes sir, what is that? Outstanding amount. Totally not repaid, but some amount we repaid. How you know? No. First I will take. Ma, 50 lakh first we taken. Again we taken how much ma? 35. How much we repaid? 25 lakh principal. How much interest we repaid? Ma? Sorry. Normally, loan related, how much we taken? How much we repaid? 25 lakh. But this amount credited means nothing but this interest is not paid. This is also as a liability only. We have to pay. But this amount already paid. That's why we need no need to consider. Yes, remember how much we have to pay again in the form of interest ma? 2.7 lakh. Total itra 62 lakh 70,000. Are you understood? Ma'am, remember I taken this as a loan. Again I taken this loan. How much repaid? 25. But interest we are required to pay, not paid. That's why this is also considered as an what ma? Loan outstanding. But this is already paid. That's why no need to consider. Yes, how much ma? Remember this maximum amount outstanding any time during the previous year. Next one ma? This loan is accepted by using bank ways. Yes, RTGS. Electronic ways only. What is that code? RTGS. In case if loan is taken other than these details you have to fill. Other than electronic mode means you have to fill these what ma? Details. Are you understood? So this is nothing but what ma? Loan taken details. 31A is talking about loan taken. 31C is talking about what ma? Loan repayment. Same data. Serial number, name of the lender, address, PAN, etc. How much we repaid? 25 lakh. Ma, even though we repaid 25 lakh, what is that maximum outstanding? Still we have 62 lakh 70,000 we are required to pay. Next. Are you understood? No. Yes, we are received in electronic ways only. And code is what? RTGS. If account pay check, we can write here account pay check. There is no violation. Are you understood? Now, ma, remember, many are asking doubt like, sir, we are not at all violated 269 SS, 269 what ma T. Why we are reporting? Not violated. That's why you have to report. Whether violated, you have to make that what ma comments in the last column. What are the clauses done ma? 31A done, 31C done. Ma 34A, 34B is nothing but what ma? TDS. Ma 34A, whether he is required to deduct the TDS. Yes. Remember serial number, TAN number 194A. Interest other than interest on securities. Okay. What is the total amount we paid as an interest or outstanding? How much ma? Gross amount ma? 2.5 lakh or 3 lakh. On this amount only we are required to deduct the what ma TDS. Yes, sir. But now, can you tell me TDS collected on this amount only? We are required to deduct on this amount. TDS also deducted perfectly on how much ma? 5,50,000. How much TDS deducted ma? 55,000. How much? How 55,000? Here 25,000. Here 30,000. Ma remember here TDS is properly deducted. 30,000 plus 25,000. Yes, there is no TDS related violations. Ma if violated, what we are required to do? 21B we have to write. If TDS required to deduct but not deducted means we have to write which clause? 21B. 30% or 100% of that amount disallowed. Ma next TDS TCS return, that is nothing but 31B. Ma 26 cura due date, so nothing but quarter ending with the what ma? September. Quarter 2 ending with the September. Next month ending 31st October is due date. Last quarter, can you tell me what ma? Quarter 4. Sir, how you know this second quarter and all the things they given here? They given in the question. 10-10 they filed, second quarter related, fourth quarter related, they filed on what ma? 20th 5. So, last quarter related ma, April month related, they have to file on what? 31st May. Generally next month end we have, sorry, March. Generally we have to file next month end. For last quarter they given the 2 months time. Yes, sir. They are required to file within the due date, but they filed within the time or not? Yes. Now, for all the transaction they deducted TDS. That's why no need to give any extra report. Ma, highly important clauses. I will write it down here as an just a note point. I want to write it down. Ma, 21B. What is that? Ma, 21B is always linking with the 34A. 34B is nothing but what ma? TDS TCS related returns. Now that is nothing but 31A 269 SS. Next one ma, 31C is nothing but what ma? 269 what ra? STRT. Huh? Yes sir. Wait ra. 269T. ST is nothing but receipt. Okay. ST is related to what ma? Here. ST is related to what ma? Receipt. T is related to repayment. Oh, yes sir, if any cash receipts, that is what ma? ST. Repayment is nothing but T. Now we are doing repayment, that's why what is that ma? T. Dana 269T. These are highly expected clauses in your next exam. Dana? Naura. I think remaining theory are there. After completion of remaining classes, we can go through it. On your own also you can go, but I don't want to take any risk. Right? Okay. Remaining classes shall be discussed. Ma, I already told in the next previous class itself, what are the important classes we have to refer. These classes you have to refer and you have to do the problems also perfectly. Now, how many classes related discussion is over ma? I think 34 done. Now shall we start 35? We are in climax. Now we can start with the 35. What is a 35? Ma, if you 35A and 35B is there, we have an what ma? 35A, 35B. Ma, if you are doing trading, that means your entity is doing the trading business. That means I am purchasing some goods and selling the goods. Trading. Quantitative details we have to write it out. That means what is that item and what is that unit name. That means per kg, per liter, at what unit we are selling. What is the opening stock? What is the purchases? What is that sales? What is the closing stock? What is the shortage, like abnormal or normal loss? These are all the details we have to report. Principal goods related only, not for all. Array, now I am selling the motorcycles. What is it? My principal good? Motorcycles. That all the related details you have to write. Next, if you are in manufacturing concern, what are the quantitative details we have to report? So nothing but what ma? Manufacturing means raw material, finished goods, byproducts, work in progress related details you have to write. So nothing but what ma? Quantitative details. Quantitative or qualitative? Quantitative. Details. Yes, 35A is talking about what ma? Trading concern. Concern means what ma? Entity. Yes, quantitative details regarding manufacturing concern. Yes, manufacturing concern. Ma, 35 is also over. Now we can start 36. In 36 we have in 2, 36A, 36B. Very easy. Ma, 2 subsection 22 clause E is there. If any private company given the loan to the shareholder, okay, shareholder having at least 10% of voting right, the shareholder is called as a beneficial owner. Array, we can't treat it as a loan. Out of accumulated profits, what is that ma? Out of accumulated profits, a private company given the loan or advance to the, yes, any shareholder who having the more than 10% of what ma? Voting. Yes. Now in this person hands, that is deemed dividend. Not dividend. We are deemed to be treated as what ma? Dividend. Yes sir. Deemed dividend under which class ra? Sorry, say which section ra? Section 22 subsection, sorry, section 2 subsection 22 what ma? Clause E. Like this, if our entity is paying anything, not from shareholder point of view. Yes sir. What is the details of these payments and all the things we have to mention? Like in our Finance Act 24, there is a new deemed dividend provision ma, up to we have an A to era previously. Now they are added what ma? F. Remember, if any buyback done, or previously you purchased it for 10 rupees, now company is doing the buyback for 15 rupees. Now what is that gain in your hands? 5 rupees. That is deemed dividend. That is required to be taxed under what ma? Deemed dividend. Consideration received by the shareholder from buying the buyback, from doing that what ma? Buyback to the extent of accumulated profits, that is treated as what ma? Deemed dividend only. That is treated as what ma? Deemed dividend. Can you tell me 36, how many are there? 2. 36A, 36B. Can you tell me what are the points we can write ma? Deemed dividend under section 2 subsection 22 clause E and 2 subsection 22 clause F. Shall we write? Yes. Deemed dividend under section 2 subsection 22 clause E. Yes, loan. Yes, if any deemed dividend, yes sir, deemed dividend under section 2 subsection 22 clause F. This is related to what ma? Buyback. Done, done, done. Yes, next. I don't want to explain. If any cost audit is applied for your entity, yes, then cost audit was conducted. Yes, cost audit carried out or not. Yes, state the whether cost audit carried out or not. Yes, if any disqualifications or disagreements given, disqualification means nothing but what ma? Any matter related disagreements or any points if given by the cost auditor, that all the things also we have to report under this para. What is that para? That, sorry, not para, clause. What are 37? Sir, for your entity cost audit not applicable, then you have to put it as an what ma? NA, not applicable. Yes sir. What is that? 37. Reporting requirement. Reporting on what? 38. Ma reporting requirement on what? Ma central excise audit. Not now, okay, for some entities if it applicable, okay. If any central excise related auditor given the qualifications, disqualifications and disagreements, all the things we have to mention here. Can you tell me what is that auditor? Reporting requirement on. Reporting on what, ma? Central excise audit. Next, ma, 40. Ma, remember important. Reporting requirement of the turnover and key ratios. Ma, remember, what are the key ratios? Total turnover. Yes, sir. Gross profit to turnover, net profit to turnover, stock in trade to turnover, material consumed to finished goods produced. These are all the ratios we have to compare with the what, ma? Previous years. The figures of previous years have been restated, or now if any changes are there, drastic changes, that fact have been disclosed in the Form 3CA, Para 3, Form 3CB, what is that, Para 5. Ma, last year cost audit was not applicable. Leave this column as on what, ma? Not applicable. If last audit, tax audit is there, compare the numbers with the present numbers, then you have to give the details. Sir, what are the key ratios? Turnover, gross profit to turnover, net profit to turnover, stock in trade to turnover, material consumed to finished goods produced. These are all the ratios related reporting we have to done under which class? 40. Shall we write? Yes. Ma, there is no 39 also. There is no class 39. Already one class is not there. What is that? 28 is not there. Okay. Okay, on the top I will write what are the clauses we don't have, ma? 28 and 39 numbers don't check. There is no such numbers. Now, what is that? Directly 40 we discussed now. Reporting of what, ma? Reporting on turnover and key ratios. Ma, next 41. Ma, reporting of demand or refund. I think you know the department or any department also can issue the notices to the SSC that maybe what, ma, they can ask some tax in demand or they can give refund. They can give what, ma? Refund. These details you have to furnish. But here one twist is there. Other loss related refunds, other loss related demands only you have to report. Under other tax laws, not under Income Tax Act. Definitely this can be tested in your exam. Why? This is a tax audit. No need to give an information related to income tax. Other laws. Remember, other laws means nothing but what, ma? Income tax and wealth tax, okay. Other than any refund or demand notice issued, we have to write. So remember, how we can give the report? Year. In which year? In which name of the act? What is the type? Demand issued or refund issued? Date, amount, remarks. These are all the things. But you have to cross verify this information from the CARO. In CARO also, if any statutory dues are pending, we have one clause under the company audit report order. You have to cross verify from all. Department is not giving the refund. Why? They are adjusting against the what, ma? Some demand. You are eligible for refund, but previous year tax liabilities or any years are there. Now we can adjust all these things. If anything is there, we have to report here. Can you tell me if any demand or if any refund related information is there regarding other tax laws, we have to report under which clause? 41. What is the 41 ma? Reporting of demand or refund under other tax laws. Other tax laws. Clear? Ma other tax laws means other than income tax and wealth tax. 42, 43 and the last one what ra? 44. Now, ma, this you can read on your own. Ra. If these forms are applicable, form number 61, 61A, 61B, I clearly given form 61 when it is applicable, form 61A when it is applicable, form 61B when it is applicable. If you fill these forms, details you have to give. Okay, overall I will explain, right? It will take 2 or 3. Ma, first I will tell you 61A form. Ra. This form is applicable for the banks, mutual funds, registrars. I think you know statement of financial transaction, SFT. Banks, financial institution, they are required to give the what ma? High value of cash transactions. These are all the things. Yes, how to file? Ra? This rule 114E given the details about how to file. What is the due date ma? 31st May. Or if you are observed in advance tax and interest chapter, yes, under fees, under section 234G, I explained this everything. 234G. So what is that last date? Yes, whether you filed in a delayed manner or within the time you file, all the things. Next one ma, like form 61 also you have to file. If filed, okay. If not filed, what is the dates? Here also form 61B, this is nothing but required under foreign account tax compliance and common reporting standard. These are all are required to report. If report is required, all the details are these code numbers, what is the form number, due date, actual date, yes, whether we are filling the all the details correct or incorrect. There will be definitely they will not ask anything about these clauses, but sorry, this class only what ma? 42. Number of forms are what ma? 3. 61, 61A, 61B. Different forms in different cases, whether you filed or not. We file late filing or within the date filing, all the things we have to report under 42. What are the form numbers ma? Filling of forms. 61, 61A, 61B. Next, 43. Ma, there is no 42 is done. Next one ma, 43. Ma, country by country reporting like 286, that already we discussed in non-resident chapter. If you know country by country reporting, sir, if any MNC is there, multinational or international group, on behalf of this international group, for our income tax department, our entity, that means Indian entity or nothing but alternative reporting entity required to furnish the report, that is only called as what ma? Country by country reporting. That means if an SSC is required to give such types of reports, the details also you have to mention in 43 clause. That reporting form numbers are what ma? Form 3, CEAC and CEAE. Can you tell me what is that ma? Country by country reporting. Country by country reporting. Yes sir, nothing but multinational companies related in India. If any entity is representing on behalf of the total multinational company, they are required to give the report to the Indian income tax authorities under certain form numbers. If you are required to give, yes, give me the details. Country by country reporting. What is that? Section number ma? Under 286. Last one. Breakup of total expenditure based on GST registration status. Yes, whatever that expenditure you incurred. Yes sir, remember expenditure on exempted goods how much, expenditure on composition, expenditure on other registered entities. Yes sir, payment to what ma? Registered entities. Whatever the GST related expenditure, total expenditure you incurred under GST related, yes, you have to classify based on what ma? Break up under entities registered under GST. How much related, exempt, composition related, these are all the things you have to remember. Yes, next one ma. Remember, this is just remember, whatever that expenditure you incurred, please break up that expenditure based on GST registration status, whether unregistered, if registered, yes, that is related exempted, or composition, other registered entities, total payment to that what ma? Other registered entities. So nothing but what ma? Breakup of total expenditure, whatever that expenditure we incurred, breakup of total expenditure. How we are breaking up based on GST registration. Now, my clause is done whatever the 5 points are there or 6 points, these are the hard. Maybe they can ask, are any form under form 3CD is not applicable for you because I don't have any international transaction or specified domestic transactions. I don't have any international transaction or specified domestic transaction. Can you tell me I think we didn't return that point. What is it? Primary adjustment related, I think we are not written in summary. 30A, 30B, 30C, we written. Sorry, written. So can you tell me, if I don't have any specified domestic transaction, international transaction, this clause is applicable or not applicable? Not applicable. This clause is also not applicable. So that's why what we can do, if there is no specific applicability of any clause, then we have to write as an this clause is not applicable. We have to write it as an what ma? This clause is not applicable. Now, sir, we decided some expenditures are allowed, disallowed. I think in some classes disallowed expenditures related information, and allowed means nothing but what are the conditions that deductions, that expenditures related satisfied, all we written. Now, which year last we have to check ma? Law applicable for the relevant assessment year we have to check. The amount disallowed, why it is disallowed, and in which cases that is disallowed, allowed, on what conditions we can allow that, all the things we have to check what ma? Relevant assessment year. Now, single item of income or expenses is relevant to that multiple clauses. One expense only, but that is attracting two clauses. Then what we need to do, ma? Provide details only in one clause. That's enough. And give the appropriate cross reference. Don't fill the data again and again. One expenditure is required to be reported under both the clauses. No need to report under both the clauses. Fill one clause and give the cross reference of the previous clause. Example, rough. In class 21, we have to give the one thing. And any other class also applicable. Please give the details in this class. And you have to give the what ma? Cross reference of which class ma? 21. Understood? Next. Now, these details are filled. Difference of opinion among the auditor and SSE. This is very important. We are getting practical questions also on this. Both the views we have to write. What is SSE view? What is an auditor view? And facts also we can mention. Facts under which para you know. And we can give these things to the example. SSE is saying that TDS no need to deduct in this case. But as an auditor point of view, TDS required to deduct. There is a difference of opinion. Sir, nothing but in I think you know TDS related para 34A, we are required to give TDS required to deducted but not deducted. We can give the reference of that also. But SSC saying that what ma TDS not required to deduct, why you are given these disallowance, sorry, why you are given this what ma cross reference? Nothing but I will show you 34 related in A. What is that? Here not required to be deducted. But here clearly he said that out of 2,90,000 we deducted TDS on how much? 2,91. Sorry, 2,50 only. So that means as an auditor I want to deduct the tax. I want to report that. But SSC different opinion. SSC having the different opinion. Now both the views we have to write. And the relevant facts. And decision will be give up to the what ma income tax authorities. They will decide who is correct. Now, ma there is incomplete record or incomplete information. What are the paras? In these paras we have to write the facts. Now, ma auditor relies on court or tribunal ruling. That means nothing but why I am arguing like TDS is required to deduct as per one case law I am decided. So that's why that information also you have to give in these paras. Understood? Right? Are from your side you don't want to deduct the TDS, that is an law provision says, but as per case law or tribunal or court judgment I want to mention it as an required to deduct the TDS, but you are not deducted under form clause number 34A I want to mention. Yes, but if you mention that, yes, all observation you have to give in the para 3 form 3CA, para 5 of an form 3CB you have to mention these things. Everything is covered. If you prepare this tax audit, how many marks they will give? You can get the full marks also. Now, in your material, these are the questions are only there. But for that extra knowledge purpose, I am taking this question from the CA. Already, I explained in a last session one question. This question also I am taken from the what ma? CA. Question number 5 from CA sources. And question number 4 also from CA sources only I taken. Okay, but you have to do these questions up to now. Definitely you have to do. At any time they can print that CA questions into CMA exam. That's why I am given. Now we can read the pure theory questions. How they will ask the question you have to know. I am underlining in a quick manner. Just listen. Ex-Indian company. Who is that? Ex-Indian company. Paid the interest to that whom? Non-resident associated enterprise. How much they paid? 95 lakh. Now can you tell me the name of the parties who are paying interest to whom? X Limited is an Indian entity paying an interest to X Incorporation. Names also nearly same. Okay, now please tell me X Limited is there. They are paying that amount to that X Incorporation. Right? How much amount? So these two are AEs. Okay? Associated enterprises. Sir, why these questions can be tested? Transfer pricing, tax audit, all the things will be covered here. Now remember, during which year? Non-resident associated enterprise only. Sorry? Okay. Loan borrowed, that's why they paid. Nothing but what? We taken loan, that's why we paid what? Interest now. Now, X also obtained 5 crores loan on this date from the Y Incorporation. In that we have an holding, how many holding power? 20%. Now Y Incorporation is there. From this Y Incorporation we taken a loan of how much? 5 crore. 5 crore at the rate of what? 10%. Now we can't say these two are associated. Why? 26 or more is there, we can say associated. These two are not at all associated enterprises. Next. X Incorporation deposited, yes sir, X Incorporation deposited with a Y incorporation, X limited contents, sir, lines missed, no problem, I will explain. Now 2 crores amount is deposited. How much amount is deposited, ma? 2 crores amount is deposited. Now X limited contention is nothing but provisions of 94B is not applicable. Why? Interest paid to non-resident associated enterprise does not exceed 1 crore. We are paying how much? 95 lakh only. Now, you know already we have a provision of guarantee also covered. Sir, X limited directly given some amount of loan, but indirectly some amount of loan we taken. Now, tax auditor argument is that only. Tax auditor opinion, interest of 20 lakh. Yes, sir, 20 lakh how, why? Even though we are required to pay 5 crores related 10%, but now I want to take the what ma to that extent of guarantee given by the AE. That related only I will pay what ma 20 lakh. Other I will pay what ma extra 30 lakh. These two loans together, that is more than what ma 1 crore. Tax auditor saying that, sir, no problem. Directly 95 lakh interest. Indirectly, yes sir, who are given the 2 crores loan to whom ma? Associated enterprise only, indirectly given. For this, how much interest we are paying? 2 crores into 10%. All together, how much ma? More than 1 crore. But here twist is there. X limited arguing that still, array, matching amount is there. That means I am given the loan, sorry, deposit 2 crore. If they are given the loan 2 crore, then I can accept it as on my loan. No matching amount. Remember ma? Not deposited matching amount. And still they are asking, provision is not applicable. Then examine the reporting requirement of an tax auditor. I can say one thing, if there is exact matching amount is required to be treated as a guarantee by AE, always in our general practices also, always I deposited, I given the loan 2 lakh. Just example, loan 2 lakh, I will deposit 1,99,999. There is no exact match. Definitely they can utilize the what ma in a wrong way. Yes, department is clearly saying, remember, I will underline the points. Explicit or implicit guarantees also covered. Directly given loan, indirectly given loans also covered. Now remember, provisions of 94B is attracts or not attracts? Attracts. Why? 95 lakh. Sorry. I will. 95 lakh directly we are paying. Another how much ma? 20 lakh indirectly we are paying. Yes, sir. Remember, relevant clause is nothing but what ma? Form number 30, sorry, clause number 30B. This is only 94B, thin capitalization. If you mention that, you will get 1 mark. Yes, what we have to write? Yes, what we have to write in this class, please remember. Yes, what we have to write? Form 3CD, because its nature exceeds the what ma? 1 crore. Remember how you made decision. Guidance note on tax audit given. As per this para, not required to write this in exam, but you can write. Already you know this point. Tax auditor having different opinion with the whom? SSC. SSC saying 94B not applicable. We are saying applicable. Then what we are required to do? Simply these differences we are required to report in these paras, and facts we have to write, and that relevant information we have to write, and ultimate decision will taken by the whom? Tax authorities. Sir, last points we discussed this. If any differences of opinion is there, both the views you have to write. Yes, full information you have to disclose. Tax authorities will take all the things. So, remember, 94B is applicable. Why? Same excess threshold 1 crores. This is an intent of legislation. Otherwise, many are escaping from this provision even by depositing marginally lower than the amount. Remember, there is no exact matching or there is no exact match, no problem. Here 2 crores, 5 crores, no matching, even though that is considered for the 94B limits. Done. What is that clause number? By way of reading this matter itself, you have to understood the clause number 30B, 94B. Done. Next. Ninth one. Please read. ABC Limited engaged in the transportation of building material. Two things. What are the two things? Transportation of building material, transportation of goods to the contractor. Two things we are transporting. One is building material. Another one is goods. Sir, company not deducted the tax on the ground since the payments for the transportation of goods, not renting machinery and equipments. So that's why 194I is not applicable. 194I means if I am given the plant and equipment as an renting, yes sir, nothing but if any things as an given as an rent, it will be applicable. Now they are saying we are not doing any we are not given for rent, just we are given for transportation. Transportation of goods not covered. Yes, now, but payments cannot be termed as rent paid for using the machinery. We are transporting, we are not giving for the rent. Now, tax auditor view. This is whose view? SSC view. Tax auditor saying that these are the transaction covered in works contract. Works contract means nothing but shifting of goods from one place to another. This is covered under works contract. That's why 194C will apply. They are taken the High Court decision. That means if any tax auditor taken the decisions of courts or tribunals, he has to give this fact in the form 3CA, 3CB, relevant paras 3 and 5. Simple. What is the reporting responsibility of a tax auditor? Can you tell me? Here which class we have to write? TDS related, class number 34A. Class number 34A. Simple. What we have to write? Automatically cross reference. If TDS required to be deducted, not deducted, we have to give the disallowances related to this para. This class, not para. Remember, both the views we have to write. Number of debatable issues arises while answering the applicability of the provisions of the TDS and TCS. They are clearly given. Number of issues will arise between the SSC and tax auditor. Don't think about everything. If differences of opinion is there, all the things you have to report. Both the views you have to report in these paragraphs. Clear? In one guidance note they given. If both the person having the different views related to TDS and TCS, don't worry, both the views you have to write and facts should be mentioned in that particular para. Sir, but what is that important thing? While reading this itself, you know about TDS, TCS related. So that's why TDS, TCS related. What is a TDS deducted or not deducted? 21. TDS applicability related 34. These two things. Disallowance related, TDS, TCS related, you have to write. Next. Question number 10. Now, question number 10. Easily we can complete. Once if you listen, automatically you can remember for more time also. That's why. Search conducted under section 132. Search conducted under section what ma? 132. Ma, as a part of post-search inquiries, after completion of search, we are doing inquiries. What are the inquiries we made? On the analysis of software data. What is the software data, ma? Billing software. We analyzed the total billing software, whatever the software they followed. On the analysis of data, we found that company involved in the violation of 40A subsection 3. What is it, 40A subsection 3? Payments made more than 10,000 in a day in cash. How much amount, ma? 20 crores on the purchase of old gold. Sir, I am selling okay, but purchasing also, on that purchase time, we made how much amount in the form of cash? More than 10,000 every day, like totally that is an 20 crore. Now, in order to verify the founding full digital data, some customers who was whereabout were available for computer records were contacted and their statements were recorded on their oath. That means, as a tax auditor, you contacted with the customers and nothing but who from where we purchased this gold and all the things we contacted. And we recorded the statements also. Next, that customers under oath, this had sold old gold and received amounts all exceeding 10,000 in cash. The openly customers said, the fact emerged from the, yes sir, inquiries of that element jewelers, the purchased old gold and makings payments in, even if it exceeding the what mark 10,000. That means based on that automatically. Tax auditor mentioned S also. Can you tell me what is that clause? 21D. This clause also you have to remember. What is that clause number? 21 D. Cash payments more than how much mark? 10,000. Yes, he said yes. And in that subclause A, 21D, yes sir, he written it as an what? Whether expenditure covered under rule 6DD. That means what ma? He given. Tax auditor submitted standing instructions was given by the management of an entity to employees to make the payments more than 10,000 through account to pay check and possible electronic modes. Copy of these instructions was verified by him. Now, a twist is there. What you have to do? Large volume of data is there. 20 crore transactions are paid more than 10,000 in cash. You have to report the transactions in a clear way. But what he reported, no problem, sir. Some payments are done in a cash that aggregatedly more than 20 crore. But now management is rectified that issue. Now management given that instructions to their employees, more than 10,000 payments if anything is there. Now onwards they will pay in that what ma? Account pay check electronic demand draft. And further, I taken the management representation letter also. What is the management representation letter? So hereafter we'll do all the things in that way. Can you tell me, as a tax auditor, it is a proper way of doing reporting? No. And remember, he conducted the test checks. Test check means sample. He didn't reveal any violation. Yes, what is that implication? Remember, here, what is the point we have to write? Para number we have to mention. But here you have to mention one guidance note issued by the ICAI. What is a guidance note? Remember, okay, if any payment is made, that is more than 10,000 in cash. Yes, sir. What whatever is there, mere reliance on the certificate issued by the management is acceptable or not acceptable? Not acceptable. How you can rely on the management given certificate? You are a statutory auditor under section 44 AB. You have to give the report. Even remember, even if that large volume of data is there also, you have to use the audit tools. Many audit tools are available, sampling, random checking, all the things are, and you have to find out the what are the payments are more than what 10,000 in cash. You can't directly rely on what tax auditor report. So now can you tell me here auditor failed to exercise the due diligence? Yes, 100% efforts he not at all put in that professional duties. He failed to obtain the information for expression of what opinion on the form 3CD and tax audit. Are you understood, Ra? Sir, silly question, Ra. Silly question means nothing but he has to give the report where he made the payment more than 10,000 in cash, but he is not at all reported that. Just given management rectified that issue. Hereafter, they will do all the things in electronic modes, and I taken a representation letter also from the management. These will not at all acceptable. Done. Yes. Now, this you can do on your own. Ra. I will tell you. This is in chapter 6A deductions related. 80 AA section, additional employments, deduction with respect to what employment of additional employees. Sir, now without reading, I can say now which clause is relevant, which clause is relevant for this? 33. Reporting of deductions of chapter 6A or 3. Now we are going to claim the chapter 6A. Now which clause is relevant? 33. Section wise deductions. And for answering this question, you need to know about the complete knowledge about 80 JJAA. So who is an additional employee? Yes, if payments are more than 25,000, he is not an additional employee. In order to call as an additional employee, he needs to work for that 240 days or nothing but what 150 days. So that all the points, related points. But remember, what is that clause is relevant? Chapter 6A deductions related. What is the clause? 33. Now, this is also last preference you can give to these questions. CA, nothing but it is a nothing but CA Act 1949 related question, not for us. Okay. How it will be asked also I will tell you. Income tax department collected that information and documents from so and so bank. Now, this company is nothing but remitting the huge amounts to the abroad. They are airlines or travels. They are transferring the huge amount to the foreign countries. But documents collect include, that means bank given the documents in that form 15B from chartered accountant also they submitted. Remember? Form 15B is nothing but given by the chartered accountant for remitting the amount from India to outside India, list of passengers, copy of their passports, date of travel, invoice raised by the foreign party. So all the things are confirmed by CA. CA also given the report. Based on that report, now this company remitting the amount to that what foreign. But remember, twist is there. On inquiry from the passengers and verifying their passports, they are not at all traveled on the dates. Means nothing but there is no traveling done. Simply, they are only booking the tickets, they are only paying that amount to the foreign. Simply remittance of money from India to outside India. For that, which form number of CA is required? 15B. CA also given the form. Without verifying anything, he given the form numbers. Now, remember, this department concluded this amount are remitted on board on the basis of false invoice, wrong reasons leading to FEMA issues. And FEMA issues leading reason whom? CA. He given the wrong report or wrong form. Now, during the 9th month period in question, that a 9th month, he given how many certificates? 120 form, 15 CB certificates he issued. That all are fake. Yes. Because of that 9th month, he given the 120 fake 15 CB certificates. Because of that, how much remittance of done by the company? 30 crores. But chartered accountant has saying that, sir, I issued 15 CB's form number basis of invoices produced by the company, and I verified the signatures on that invoices also. However, he failed to bring the record on invoices. Now, he is not a statutory auditor of the company. He is not examined the everything. Remember, how much he charged for every certificate? 3,000. Can you tell me it is a good practice or not a good practice? Not a good practice. How much amount collected in cash? Some amount, mostly he collected the 3,000 fees from the company in cash, remaining in what? Bank account. Remember, it is not related to tax audit form 3CD. It is related to what? Normally, I think in your cost audit, you have a professional guilty of misconduct. Like under CA Act also, now he has an guilty of professional misconduct. Guilty of what? Professional misconduct. Why? His failure to exercise yes, sir, due diligence. Due diligence means he is not at all doing that work properly while doing that what? Professional work. Due diligence while discharging what? Professional duties. While discharging professional duties, they will not ask anything, but just I am saying professional duties. Maybe you can ask, sir, will they replace this with the CMA? Maybe they can ask. You have to write which act? CW. That means as per your professional ethics and cost audit, you have to replace the answer. But no problem. More than this, they will not ask even single question on tax audit. It is my assurance. But while reading this theory, in one point you will get an idea. It is chapter 6A reduction. That's why what? Class. What is that class? 33. Now, I will highlight the important clauses with a green color. Okay. There is no clause of what? 28 and 39. Now, cash more than 10,000 if paid, that is disallowed. One or two? అర్థం కాలేదురా 7 mark question పక్కా 7 and one MCQ maybe. Remember 9 this one and this one and these 3 clauses. Whatever that green things I highlighted, you have to remember that. But this is an amendment, maybe they can ask this also. This. How many you have to remember mandatorily? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have to remember these 9 classes at any cost, numbers and what is the class content also. So that's sent for the tax audit, and tomorrow or day after tomorrow we can meet for that amendments. Okay. If material finalized, I will come tomorrow only. Okay. Thank you. You go hard copies on this.